What's up, fellow podcasters? Welcome back. In today's podcast interview breakdown, I'll be reacting to the Full Send podcast interview with Kodak Black. Here we go.
All right, we got Kodak, the man. We're in your mom's house right now?
For sure.
It's dope. We've been chilling here for a bit.
One of them.
One of them?
Yeah.
How many houses she got? Two houses? All in like Florida area? That's crazy.
Right off the rip, I would ask, how does it feel to be able to buy your mom a house, if not multiple houses? It's quite an achievement for anybody in the creative space, especially music.
I'm gonna tell them the backstory. I was slapping the album and I just DM'd you off Nelk Boys off her account, and I forgot I DM'd you a long time ago, and I said we should film some shit, and then you just hit me with this emoji, like I don't know what.
What is that?
Sure,
I don't know.
Whatever.
It's like whatever. Yeah.
is.
Oh, is that what it meant? Whatever.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I didn't say anything back.
I'll be honest, I'm super jealous about this. They have such a following, and plus they've got the blue check. They're verified. Everybody on the internet knows who they are. But to have that kind of access where you don't have to go through a middleman like a PR person, like somebody like me has to do. So the whole process is I can either DM them, and if they even see my DM, I may get a response, but then, I either that or I have to go through their PR person or their management, which is a total nightmare. But these guys are just like, quick DM. Super jealous.
And then I saw the album was out, so I was like, fuck it, we should have him on the pod. And then
Here he is.
you were iffy about it again, but then I told you, I was like, we'll get you 3x what the Breakfast Club got you. And that's what you got interested, right?
Most there.
And then you just FaceTime me. I just got off a flight, and then I see a FaceTime from a random iCloud email. And Kodak's like playing video games. Like, I think were you gaming?
Yeah.
The phone was like down here, and you're just like, you're like, what's up?
Yeah, most there.
But yeah, so I hope we
I
can
love
live
that.
up
Well,
to it. I think we will.
I got to say this though. What I respect is that when we came in this house, obviously this is your mother's house.
Yeah.
The amount of respect that they showed us for us to be able to come in here, we really appreciate that.
Shots,
Most
pickled
definitely.
eggs,
For sure.
And like I said, like a lot of
Starburst.
Yeah.
people, a lot of people.
I
Obviously,
choose. My bad.
no, go ahead.
Yeah.
I was saying a lot of people obviously come in probably and pitch you shit and do shit. Just want to let you know you've been really respectful, and your whole crew has been really respectful to us. We appreciate that.
Most there. Salute.
Yeah. Lance told us to just stay here for the week, if that's cool with you.
For sure. Why not? I like
Yeah,
how y'all
these
rearrange
we've been
shit,
posted on
set
these
up.
couches for 3 hours, so I
Yeah.
might just crash here.
Yeah.
This is it.
All right.
So how's life going right now for Kodak Black?
It's great. You know. Azula. It's good.
I love that.
Love that.
Well, he's got a new album out now. That's what I see about all the time now. Is all the new album. Everybody's talking about it.
The album.
So you got to be careful with something like that. Like, it was a good question to kind of start it off, but he only gave like a couple word answer. And one of the most powerful questions you can ask in one of these types of interviews is why is it so good, or what makes it so good, just to kind of warm them up and get them talking. Or he could have Bob could either maybe even had a good opener, like, a lot of people know who you are, but for those who don't, what are you famous for? Something like that, or just something to give everybody listening some context, because I know a lot of people know who he is, but there are people who don't know.
Album slapping, all the singles are cooking.
Yeah. Number one. Yeah, well. Jones.
What do we got? We got stats there. Super Gremlins at 110 million plus. Platinum already?
Yeah, Super Gremlin Platinum.
What does platinum mean, by the way? I don't know this stuff. I'm learning. I'm new to the music. What does platinum mean? Like, you're the best of the best?
Certain amount of views, right?
1 million.
Yeah, like
Downloads?
right over gold, you know what I mean? Stuff like that. It is the best until a diamond come about. I got songs that's platinum. I got songs like two time platinum, 3 time, 4 time, 5 time, 6 time platinum. And I got a diamond plat too though.
Word.
You can't go past diamond.
That's as good as it gets.
Yeah. I got a diamond plat.
What's Diamond for? Like what song?
Shit, Bodak Yellow.
Shit.
Was that?
And I don't know if they covered it, but like with downloads and streams, I know that things are a little different now. So it'd be interesting to hear, our artists still trying to chase that platinum plaque or that diamond plaque, I'm sure. But just to clarify, because I kind of like what Bob said, not everybody knows how the music industry works. So it'd be interesting to hear that.
Is that your most?
Is that what that photo is over there?
Oh, nah. Bodak Yellow, that's the Carter Beach joint.
What was your favorite song that you ever created? Was it Bodak Yellow?
Nah.
See, the favorite song, I mean, it's a good question, but I would have been like, which song is the most underrated song that you have? Or even on the opposite end of the spectrum, what is an overrated song, or which song are you most proud of?
Shit, off my album, Hitting Highs is like becoming like my new favorite. It's just that vibe. I be hitting highs. That little song. But I used to always like acting weird.
Mm-hmm.
Acting weird, like that'd be a song. Like when I was in prison, I was saying that every day. Acting weird.
Mm-hmm.
You have
And I'm obsessed with the creative process, and to not go too deep, because sometimes people's past, like him going to prison, is a sensitive subject. So I first would have went down the whole rabbit hole of what his process was actually like out of prison and his creative process in prison, to see how are you more creative while you're in or you're out? Is the whole dynamic different? Like, how do you do it? And he would have obviously responded, and then that can send you down the rabbit hole to really get inside this guy's mind.
a song with Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
Yo, did you buy him a chain or he bought you a chain?
So it's already going a little bit off the rails, a little bit, or took a quick left turn working with Ed Sheeran. How did that happen? Did he send you a DM? Did you send him a DM? Did his people reach out to you? Did you see something he liked? Did you ever think you would collab with another pop singer and do like a little mashup?
Nah, that was his chain.
He gave it to you?
Yeah, you know he 18 on the block. You from the 18 on the block.
Well, how was that?
Shit, you know Ed Sheeran, the Project Baby, man.
He's a legend, though.
Yeah, he a sniper.
Yeah, what's it like working with Ed Sheeran? Like, that guy's like a musical genius, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Did you like work with him in the studio, or was it just like...
Yeah, most stuff. I like him because it's like he came to my world. Like I ain't have to go all super pop with it. You know what I'm saying? He came to my world. Cause at first I was playing them songs just like that I felt like was pop and all that stuff, like love songs and all that. And then you're like, nah, boom, like go to that. He went to You Sing Booth, like he just opened it up and did his own stuff to it. Did his own thing to it.
If he...
Another good question would be, what impressed you most about working with Ed Sheeran? And then you go down that rabbit hole of, what did you learn from him? What was your biggest takeaway? And on the flip side too, did you get to ask him what his biggest takeaway was from you? And if you guys are going to collab in the future, or maybe, it's like, hey, I really liked working with you. Do you have anybody else that would be interesting in doing a collab too? Who knows?
He hit you and was like, yo, I want you to come into my world. Would you do it?
Yeah, why not? Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Who just did that? Lil Durk and Morgan Wallen did that, right?
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen and Lil Durk did something?
Yeah, most of.
Went crazy.
And what would they're talking about different genres collaborating. So it's like, that's starting to become like the new norm. Like you're seeing rap cross with country with trap. Like you just don't know what the combinations are. And just to see what his opinion is on that sort of thing, and to piggyback off of the Morgan Wallen, it's like, would you ever want to work with would you want to work with a country artist? And if so, who and why?
I got a song with that boy Austin Mahone and stuff.
Who's he? What kind of music does he do?
He pop.
A new song with him or old?
They're like a new song with him that ain't came out. I was song Austin Mahone. I think Charlie Puth too. I know he just tweeted that he want to do something, but I think we already got one together. Adam Levine, he ain't never put that song out yet. Post Malone, he ain't never put that song out yet. Me and Bad Bunny got something together too.
You think the reason why some of them haven't put the songs out yet is it because of anything that you're doing with and dealing with in the public eye? Because you got a lot of shit right now, right? Like with like dumbass, stupid headlines. It must be exhausting to be you. Like I can't imagine how it's you every fucking minute. Everything is Kodak Black this, Kodak Black that.
They go dumb. Probably like, man.
It's got to be exhausting, brother.
Yeah, probably like, man, I like to clip my big toenail and put it sitting right by the side of the bed. I'm like, oh shit, why you like to leave his toenails by the bed?
Well, that's just because you get clicks, right?
Well, do you do that or not?
A question how I would have ordered, because once again you got to kind of be careful when you ask these type of questions, because you just don't know how they're going to react. And in the very beginning they say that Kodak is known for walking out of interviews, is to how do you deal with public scrutiny on a national level, like, and then cut and then let them answer it. It's like, is it something you just need to get used to? Is it kind of just like a tap on the chin? No press is good press, or all press is good press? It'd just be really interesting to hear his take on it.
He's into that weird shit.
Yeah.
That's
like at the end of the week, like the weekend, like Friday night, I'll leave my big toenail by the bed.
Yo, so on Back for Everything, right? When you hear Super Gremlin and you're listening to it in the studio, do you know right away that thing's gonna bang the way it did?
This is a great question too, and the interview doesn't really have any structure, which is totally fine. It's just a bunch of people. It's just these guys sitting down and talking. But this guy, I think his name is Steiny, dude. He's I always talk about the ABCs of an interview. Always be curious, and he's asking him very curious questions. Now, they may be selfish because he wants to know, but this is, if he wants to know, other people want to know, especially his true fans. So it'll be interesting to see what he says.
Because it was the most viral song. Like
Yeah,
we even
most
looked at the 49ers walking out to it every game. You remember that?
For sure.
But you know that, or it was just like...
I just ain't know if it was gonna either be like that one or Killing Rats.
Sorry, he just said the 49ers came out to that song. It would have been interesting to ask him, what is a bigger deal? You hearing your song on the radio, or getting a DM, or just sitting down and watching football and the 49ers are coming out to your song? And then what was your first initial reaction? How did that make you feel?
I knew I was gonna catch fire.
What makes you want to work with an artist? Like, what makes you say, like, hey, I want to work with this guy? Is it all just about what the numbers he's going to get? Is there ever guys that you see that you give a bit more of a chance to that are smaller because they just have a good vibe? Or what makes you want to work with somebody?
Good question.
Yeah, just how I feel for real. Like, you know, I ain't even really a feature guy like, yo, crazy, I want to work with everybody. But, you know, just how I feel, I guess.
And see, he kind of stops. He's not going too far into depth. He's kind of giving short answers, and that's where you as a host or as a podcaster, you need to kind of like reach in and get more descriptive. So he could have said something like, once again, with the process, be like, what's your process of vetting people you want to work with? Do you sit back and listen to things? Do you find things out on SoundCloud? Do you get referrals from a friend? Are you getting demo tapes? Are there people trying to hit you up? And if people are trying to hit you up, what's the most creative way that they've hit you up? Who's the person that impressed you the most, and what did they do? Or who's somebody who's on the up and coming that no one's heard of yet that you're looking forward to working with? I mean, there's a million ways you could go and just kind of ebb and flow with this interview.
Ain't really no science to it.
And do you write all your own shit?
Yeah. I have notepads full of shit in here.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'd have to see those notepads. I would love to see, once again, to go back to the process and just see what it was like. And if he had brought it out, I mean, he would have had to get up and go get it, but just to see, because it probably looks, in my guess, would be chicken scratch. If you look at any of my notebooks, they're chicken scratch, but it's like he would decipher what it is. It's like, how do you come up with the hook? How do you come up with the melody? How do you come up with the bars and the breakdowns and stuff? I mean, you could do a whole hour interview on his notebooks alone.
You didn't convert it over to laptop or anything? I'm in notepad.
Yeah, it depends on how I'm feeling, like how my vibe feeling, like if I want to be on my phone, if I want to be on the iPad. I ain't got no phone right now. But it's like, you know, if I want to write on the phone, or if I want to write on my iPad, or if I feel like writing for real, or do the punch in thing.
And you had a lot of time, obviously, prison and whatnot. You're open about that when you talk about it. Did you spend a lot of time? What was it like there? Was it 23 hours just locked up solo? And were you writing a lot of lyrics while you were?
Yeah, I had went to the box because, you know, fights and shit, like prison guards and shit. But it wasn't just like 23 or whatever like that. You know what I'm saying? Like every time, like I used to go to jail, whatever, prison, I ain't a PC dude or none of that shit. You know, they ask you like, oh yeah, do you want to go to PC or whatever? They gonna ask you that. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no PC nigga,
right,
or whatever like that type shit.
But are you doing more in the creative process, Kodak? Are you doing more like all you have is time, right? So when we have time, our creative juices start flowing.
Yeah,
There you go, Bob. And this is what I was talking about earlier when you're just, you know, if he's comfortable with talking about it, because this would be something you would cover in the pre-interview process too. It's like, hey, we're going to cover X, Y, and Z. Is there anything you want us to like, because if you give them options, they'll probably say yes or no. Just be like, hey, is there anything off the table that you really don't want us to bring up? But obviously he said it was okay. And as I mentioned earlier about the creative process in jail and outside of jail.
Were you writing a lot of shit while you were in prison?
Yeah, yo. I still got shit that I ain't like put down yet. Stuff.
Any songs that you wrote there that came out?
Oh yeah, a few songs that I wrote on the album.
Steiny with the follow-up, man. There you go. And this is great.
How much time did you do?
20 months.
20 months.
How long were you in the box for? That's fucked.
I was in the box a few months, well, like half of my bid for real.
Like straight in a row or separate times?
Straight in a row, half of my bid.
So that what is that? That's like solitary?
Yeah.
So what is it? It's just like a room, no window?
Yeah, nah, no window, nothing.
See, this is where I would want to paint the picture, because even though they have cameras on them, there's going to be some people who are watching this, and then there's going to be some people who are listening. So if you're stuck in solitary confinement, like he's saying, it's like, okay, so just to be clear, like how big is the cell? 8 by 10. Cool. Is there any windows? No. So is it dark all the time? Yes. It's like, so can you hear, like I've heard rumors that people are like screaming and like doing anything to get out, like hurting themselves or mutilating themselves just to get out. Is that true? Did that happen to you? Did you think about doing something like that? Did it help your creative process? And if it did, how? And it's like, okay, you've got the lyrics in your head, but what about the beat? Do you have the beat in your head? Is it like that? But just paint the picture of the entire scene so we can kind of feel like we're actually in there with you.
That's something that's probably got to be the craziest shit that none of us.
How crazy would you go if you were in there?
Like,
I would lose my fucking mind, bro.
That's just like such a mental test, it seems like to me.
Yeah, you're fucked in there, bro.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
They let you smoke in there? Or
no, like no timeout, no like yard.
Yeah,
shit.
niggas smoking in that bitch. Niggas
in the box?
It is what it is. But the good thing is this, that like,
how are they smoking in there? Like, how did they get it in there? And do the guards know? Like, are they giving it to them? How did they get it in there? Or can you not talk about it? So, like, do you have to keep a lid on it so just in case they see it and then it gets back to them and they start searching people and then technically you just dimed everybody out?
it's all about just the bounce back, right? It's like it happened. It's in the past. It's never happening again. And it's like, right, it's all about just how we move forward in life.
Yeah, that
which is the
bounce
most
back.
important thing. Everybody's going to make mistakes, right? And whether it be, I don't even know to be honest with you, Kodak, I don't even know the exact details of everything what happened. I didn't do my research that hard. I fuck with your music. I don't know your.
Okay, so just in case this is your first time ever seeing one of these breakdowns, or if you've been watching to get to this point, everything I'm saying here is strictly for educational purposes. I'm not criticizing any of these guys. They're actually on my interview list, so I'm gonna put my link right down there at the bottom so they can see if Bob ever wanted to do an interview, or anybody from the Nelk Boys or anybody. But I've noticed this with a handful of their interviews, and Bob says it out loud, and I've just noticed it just from watching some of his questions and things like that, is to say that he didn't do any research. And once again, he asked, I remember on Instagram, I knew I should have taken a screenshot, but Bob asked for some creative criticism, constructive criticism. Always do your research, whether it's 30 minutes or an hour. Never do too much, but do some. Because if I were to do an interview with Nelk, Kyle, or even Bob, and I told him, and I'm sitting across from you, I set up everything, and I was just like, oh man, yeah, this is so cool. I didn't do any research, but let's just kind of have a conversation. I feel like he would find it extremely disrespectful. And if I was on the flip side and I let somebody interview me, or somebody was interviewing me, and it was clear they didn't do any research, or they straight up said they didn't do any research, I would be a little irritated. Just, it's kind of like disrespecting the craft a little bit and the person. So just do some research, like something, and just don't say it. And like I said, this is all for educational purposes. I'm not trying to come too hard on Bob. I've just noticed it in a lot of the episodes. And he also, in the very beginning, got really high in the beginning, and you can kind of tell he's a little faded. That's not my style. And I love interviewing people. But now that I think about it, if he was like, smoke with me, we'll do the interview. I don't know, maybe after the interview, but I get what he did, but I just would want to focus purely on the interview, because not a lot of these people get these opportunities. And I would just want to be focused and just want to know exactly what his process was, and just try to provide as much value as humanly possible. All right, that does it for part 1 of this video. But before you go, if this is your first time on this channel, my goal is to help you grow your network and your net worth with video podcasting and podcast interviews. So if you have a podcast or you're thinking about starting one, this free download is for you. It's a list of the top 25 podcast interview questions that will make you sound like a pro, so you can impress your next guest and your listeners. The link is in the description. And to see part 2 of this podcast interview breakdown, all you have to do is click right here, and we'll see you next time.